Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening to my comic book journey podcast. I'm your host, KNDY, and today we shall go back to the year March of 1994 for Bubblegum Crisis Grand Mall Issue 1, which was released from Dark Horse Comics. Story pencils, inks, and cover line art was by Adam Warren. Inks and cover cell painting by Robert Dejesus, or Dejesus, forgot. Cover background Airbrush Pat Duke, colors Joe Rosas, lettering Tomoko Saito, editors John Weeks, Edward Martin III, and book design by Scott Tice. So, what is this one about? And for those of you who uh, are not familiar with the original Bubblegum Crisis anime series, back in 1987, there was an anime series titled Bubblegum Crisis, which was released as an OVA, original video animation, and it was produced by Yomex and animated by AIC and Artmic. The series was a huge success. It was a huge success, and it was pretty big, especially in the United States, um, considering it was one of the more earlier action anime series to come out, uh, dubbed in English and in Japanese, but. The series was a huge success and the music was popular, and this one would lead to the 80 Police Files, which came out in 1990. And I think for a lot of people also, they got their first foray into this world through this popular anime magazine titled An America. And this was back, geez, I mean, I think if anything, Bubblegum Crisis was just a part of something that many anime fans just grew up with, especially those born in the U.S. One of the first ones you would see, aside from Akira and Ranma One Half. But the series was produced by Anime Production Company and record label Yomex, and animated by Anime International Company Incorporated (AIC) and Japanese animation design studio Artmic, which consisted of the character designer Sonoda Kenichi, Adamaki Shinji, and Yamane Kimitoshi. So the problem was both Yomex and Artmic held joint rights to the series, and the popular OVA series, which was supposed to last up to 13 episodes, was canceled at 8 episodes, which lasted from 1987 to 1991. That was because of the legal problems between both companies, as they had joint rights. So both Bubblegum Crisis and 80 Police Files never reached completion despite being a popular series. While AIC would eventually release a retelling of the original OVA series with Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040 in 1998, and a 3-episode OVA series titled Parasite Dolls in 2003, the fact is the popular series from the late 80s and early 90s could have been huge, seriously huge, but nothing came out of it but Bubblegum Crash in 1999, oh no, actually 1991, which ran for 3 OVA episodes until Yomex sued Artmic, which once again prompted for a short series and also a noticeable difference in quality, not just in animation but also in music, from the original. But I think if anything, I just remember Bubblegum Crash, not so great. Bubblegum Crisis, awesome. Especially the theme song for the first episode, Konniwa Hurricane. That was so freaking awesome. Anyway, while Bubblegum Crisis would have one-shots and shorts done in Japan, a full series never came out until Adam Warren and Dark Horse Comics worked with Yomex and Artmic to come up with an original concept titled Bubblegum Crisis Grand Mall, a limited edition and it was only a 4-issue limited series. Let me show you see if I can show you a image from the comic book pages here. There you go. You can see some of that. It's really, really well done. But the series sets up the earlier beginnings of how the Great Kanto earthquake happened in 2025. The region was rebuilt as Mega Tokyo, and thanks to the Genome Corporation, who create robots with artificial life forms known as boomers, who would go on to rebuild for humanity. A synthesis of mechatronics, biotechnology, and artificial intelligence, the boomers were seen as a true success to the region. but there have always been cases of boomers gaining sentience and going beyond what they were programmed to do and wreaking havoc on humanity. So to stop them are the Night Sabers, a group that is run by Celia Stingray. Her father was a scientist who created the boomers and was slain. Celia runs Silky Doll, a lingerie shop, but she also controls substantial financial and real estate holdings. Behind the scenes of Silky Doll, she runs an operation along with her little brother, a bright, intelligent mechanic named Mackie, and joined by the temperamental rock singer Priscilla Asagiri, or Pris, 80 police communications support specialist Nene Romanova, and fitness instructor Yamazaki Rina. The Night Sabers are known to take on renegade boomers, so that's their primary main goal. The first issue allows people to jump into the comic book series without watching the original OVA series. Warren pays homage to the original by including bits and pieces such as Mackie singing Pris's popular song Konyawa Hurricane from the first episode of the OVA series, and also showing cameos of characters for people who look like the characters of Riding Bean and Yuri of Dirty Pair. And yes, you have 80 police officers, McNichol and Wong, in the series as well. Reading Bubblegum Crisis Grand Mall again, after so many years, I felt I appreciated the comic more today than how I did back then. I think it's because back then, seeing comic books that were not from the original Japanese, but something that was more American born. It was a concept that was not as mainstream. I mean, you had, I think it was called Ninja High School by Ben Dunn from Antarctic Press. I remember that. But Dark Horse would usually publish a lot of Japanese manga of the original manga series. But in terms of I guess you could say popular Japanese titles that were made by American-based artists and writers, that was something that was not like a major concept at the time. So I think I didn't appreciate it as much back then when it came out, but I eventually did later on. I think partly because a friend of mine named Stephen Sai, he introduced me to his doujinshi comic book, Kimagori Orange College, and it changed my perspective, and I started to welcome it. But this issue being released in 1994, I had to tell you the truth, it's just sat dormant in my comic book box since 1994, and so I'm reading it many, many, many years later. The other thing I guess you could say is that the artists, the artwork is really well done by both Warren and Robert Dejesus. That same year was interesting because I would play Sailor Moon on the 3DO against Robert. And this is way back then, when we used to go to comic book conventions, and there used to be these video game rooms that we play a lot of anime fighting video games, and he would be hanging out with us playing it. So to have him as an artist of this comic book series was pretty cool. But that was Anime America, I think. But they definitely did a great job of covering a little history, but making the storyline comprehensive and easy for one who hasn't watched the anime series to jump aboard and enjoy. So if you ever find this 4-issue comic book series, definitely give it a try. And that is Bubblegum Crisis Grand Mall from Dark Horse Comics. Okay, everyone, you take care, and I will see you later. Wink, wink, and see you later, everyone. Bye-bye.